My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And we're also giving away $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets, signs up with one of our 5 betting partners, and makes a deposit, will get $50 from us. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. And this is brought to you by EarnU.io. EarnU.io is the world's first sports and esports prediction game, allowing you to earn crypto risk-free. Check it out now at EarnU.io. Next up at UFC Vegas 55, we have the main event of the evening. We have Holm taking on Ketlen Vieira. Holm is 14-5 overall. 3-2 in her last 5, coming back after a year-long layoff. Ketlen Vieira, 12-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, alternating wins and losses. And Holm's coming back after more than a year and a half away from the cage. But my read on her is going to be the same as if she was active, because she's pretty inactive fighter in general. So this year away is not that crazy for her and her career. She's an insanely talented boxer who has a ton of patience and has beaten the best in the world. She is 40 years old at this point, but I don't think age matters with her style, because the first thing that goes is your chin. And Holm does not rely on her chin. She sticks and moves really well. She's a technical striker who plays the outside, jumps in, jumps out, and she does a really, really good job at that. She has an incredible striking differential in 12 UFC fights. Age would matter if she relied on her chin or got hit often, but it just doesn't. It doesn't matter for her. She sticks and moves well. She turns MMA fights into kickboxing matches with her 76% takedown defense. Ketlen Vieira is powerful. She's a come-forward striker. She's got solid takedowns and top work. She just marches forward, throws heavy, looks to tie you up, and then just sort of trips and Uchimata takedowns from there. On top, she keeps control. She pressures really well, and she pounds away. She's not very fast. She's not very athletic, but she's super big, really strong, and fundamentally sound to tie that out. And Holm's a former bantamweight champion of the world. She actually lost her title to Miesha Tate. I was all over Ketlen Vieira to beat Miesha Tate in that fight, and she did. But Holm is not Miesha Tate. When Miesha Tate beat her, she basically caught her in a lucky submission, and it was the 5th round, the 4th round, something like that, in a fight that Holm was definitely winning. And I think Holly does exactly what she does in every other fight. She stays on the outside. She picks her shots. She'll defend takedowns. And just, it's a pretty straightforward decision for me. So Ketlen is big. She can look to use her size, bully Holm to the cage, take her down. I just don't see it happening. For the most part, the way you beat Holm is to outstrike her. If you're a superior striker, you can beat Holm because that's her game. That's how Shevchenko beat her. Jermaine Durandamy, who people hate, but Jermaine Durandamy was a world champion striker. She beat her. And then Chris Cyborg beat her as well. Ketlen's pressure is solid, but she has a negative striking differential. I think her charging forward is only going to play into Holly's counter striker and her circling. So Holm is the pick. A year and a half in the way from the cage does have me worried. If I do end up doing anything, I might do buy a round and a half, buy a 2-round bet on Ketlen Vieira, because maybe she could take a round or two if she gets a takedown, hangs out on top. But I just don't know if I'm going to do that. So Holm is the pick, and I'm pretty confident here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Ketlen, national champion wrestler in Brazil, judo black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt, also black belt in what's the other one? Is it Ligma?
You're not going to get me.
Anyway, yeah. So this is how I see the fight. Holm without the S. Holm is 40 years old. I caught myself. Actually, I thought you said it, and I was gonna say something about you, but then I ended up saying it. So Holm, 40 years old. At some point, you are going to start to look old. You cannot just keep fighting and at the high level.
Tell that to Clay Guida.
Excuse me, sir. We've seen that with the same type of striker and Stephen Thompson. We saw Stephen Thompson. He's starting to slow down. We thought he was going to run through Gilbert Burns. All of a sudden, Gilbert Burns taking down. We thought that he was going to outstrike Bilal. All of a sudden, Bilal's taking him down. This seems like it's the same type of path. Excuse me. This seems like the same type of path where an older karate-style fighter, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but we saw the exact same thing with Stephen Thompson. At some point, that style gets a little bit slower. Those in and outs are a little bit slower. The takedowns are a little bit harder to defend because you are getting older. Your body, I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Is it going to happen this fight? I think it might. You know, I understand why Holly Holm is the pick for a lot of people. I understand why she's the favorite. She can dance around. She can karate. She can keep people at distance. And we've seen her against
karate. She was a professional kickboxer.
But I'm just talking about the karate distance, the way she fights. I mean, she's very good at keeping the distance with her kicks, the front kicks, all sorts of stuff like that. So I understand why she's the favorite in this match, but at some point, someone is going to come along and beat her. She's not going to keep going. And it seems like Ketlen can close that distance and might be able to get her to the ground. If she starts getting her to the ground, you know, this fight changes very, very quickly. She's got to get the takedown. She's not going to outstrike Holly Holm. Hardly anyone is going to outstrike Holly Holm. I would love to see Holly Holm fight Ketlen Vieira and just take her fucking head off, honestly. But I think Ketlen this is her moment to show how good she is in the wrestling, in the grappling. She's got a little bit of power behind those hands, too. Maybe it's one of those situations where she maybe stuns Holly to get to the takedowns, you know, whatever. So I understand why people play Holly. She's probably the safer pick. But at some point, at 40 years old, this shit gets a little bit harder. And Ketlen is one of those young up-and-comers. I think she's ready, and I think this is her moment. I think she gets a takedown and wins a fight. So I'm picking Ketlen, but I don't feel great about it, is what I'm going to say. She's definitely not going to be my lock of the week. I'll tell you that.
Dude, again, people always trash me for how I pronounce people's names. I at least try to pronounce the correct name. Who is Ketlen? Who's Ketlen?
Who, me? You talking to me?
Yeah, it's Ketlen.
I'm saying Ketlen. I said Ketlen Chuchagian.
No, you just said Ketlen 6 times in a row. It's unbelievable.
I did not. Pejeda. Ketlen Vieira.
Pejeda. Yeah, so I guess we're split.
I thought you were talking. I was like reading through the chat, like who's making fun of you, and then it got real quiet. I'm like, wait, you're talking to me?
No, because I get anytime we break down Russians, I get slaughtered in the comment section, and then you're
cultured. You're from New York. I'm from the middle of nowhere, Indiana. Of course, I'm gonna say it wrong.
Everybody's Bubba. We got Bubba versus Bubba. Yeah, listen, we're split here. I don't think anybody could disagree with either of our analysis. I think we're both correct, right? Like, yes, Holly Holm is an incredible kickboxer, incredible boxer, manages range really well, should be able to touch up Ketlen and stay on the outside. But she's aging, she's slowing down. Ketlen is big as hell, decent everywhere, but a little slow, but should be able to bully her way in. So the fight could literally go either direction, and I don't think anybody's going to disagree with the analysis. There are people who are disagreeing with the pick, obviously, and we're completely split, but not the analysis itself. So pick your side, but I will tell you right now, I'm probably not going to have Holly Holm at $9,100.
Are you doing the potty dance?
No, I don't know why. I'm just antsy.
Potty dance.
So I don't, Holly Holm, $9,100. That's like stoppage money. I don't think there's a stoppage. So I don't think I'm going to have Holly Holm in my lineup, even though I do think she wins. And it is 5 rounds, but significant strikes over 5 rounds, that doesn't score well enough. What do you think? You're going to have Ketlen. She's probably 7,100. It's probably not terrible if she gets a takedown or take Ketlen.
Hell, man, I'll tell you what. She's tough as shit, man, and I just like her wrestling, man. I mean, I've been wrestling my whole life, you know, folk style, you know, the other kinds, and no, I like it. Yeah, it should be I just said Ketlen again, but yeah.
You did, see? There it is.
I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
Vulcan Knife Fight Strike Line. I don't know what to do with that either. It might be a more or less because Ketlen is slow, and she's not super high volume. Like I get into 121 against somebody like Holly that has that kind of movement. She's going to need takedowns to do it. And I just mentioned Holly Holm has fought the best on planet Earth and has a 78% takedown defense. So I don't think Ketlen's going to get to 121. What do you think?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
You asked the question. I answered right all you want from me. It's a yes or no question. I said yes or no.
Well, if you guys want $50 free, go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you.
To expand on my previous thought.
It's literally that simple. Wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit. I send you $50.